So, last time you guys had homework, and it was about packing your bag and unloading it at the foot of the cross. So I was wondering, did anyone do that as a visual lesson? Did anyone try that?
I did.
You did?
Mhm.
What'd you think?
I, I put them back in my bag, and I stapled them because you can do it another time.
Ah,
Set,
yeah, you
okay?
can spread it out.
Right. You can do different ones,
Mhm.
and add to it and do it. So I felt that if I laid them on the table and by my devotionals and Bible and stuff down there, and I looked at them every day, but I didn't pick them up until I felt like I wasn't concerned about those anymore.
Nice.
So I stapled them all together and put them back in the bag, but I'm gonna wait a while and see if there's other things I wanna
Mhm.
put out.
Sometimes it's nice to have that visual.
No, I don't even know where the bag is.
Okay,
I don't scrutinize things.
I know, that's my table now.
I just move your stuff out of the way if I have a problem.
You do, that's okay. Yeah, I did do it.
Nice. Anyone else? Nope.
I tried to do it as a mental thing.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't physical about it, but with what I was going through, and that I just kept trying to put it there, but it kept coming right back, you know.
It was a bit of a yo-yo.
It was a tug of war. It's more in the favor of giving it away at this point than.
There you go.
And so, work in progress.
There you go. And that's just at the when you try to be aware of it is really where it helps. Being aware that we have these things that weigh us down. They may be mental, they may be physical, but you can physically feel them. And you don't realize it until you try to let it go. And then it was really weird. With my colonoscopy last week, I had been dreading that for almost 2 years.
Really?
From the time I turned 49, and people were like, oh, almost 50, that's when all the fun stuff begins. And you just had people telling you about it. And, hearing some of the horror stories that people were telling me about the prep and things. And it was odd that when it was over, a lot of people were like, oh, it's the best nap you've ever had and stuff. I woke up in the middle. My eyes were open. When the anesthesiologist saw it, she's like, oh! She gave me another shot. But on Thursday, because I had it done Wednesday, so on Thursday, it's like I didn't feel that relief because for 2 years I've been carrying this and thinking about it and worrying about it and wondering about it and trying to say, I know you're in control and I get that. You already know the outcome. I understand that. But it's the physical, I know I have to go through it. And on Thursday, I was still kind of wound up because I didn't know how to release the rest of it. Okay, now I'm on the other side, and every once in a while I'd have that little stinking voice in my head go, well, 10 years you're going to do it. Shut up! Stop! Well, what if something happens before? Shut up! So I still get that. And it's not always what I choose to put on me. I have that little voice, that little devil sitting there throwing stuff at me. He'll throw an arrow every once in a while, and it's like, all right, enough with you. Just, you gotta stop. So I understand that with this bag project that for some people it works, and for other people they're like, nope, that's just not my deal. That's great. But just try and think of things that if you can, one of my devotionals the other day said that if you have a recurring worry or recurring problem, situation, something that seems to keep coming up, give it a nickname. And if you give it a nickname, it lessens it. It makes it a little less intimidating. All right? We give nicknames to our kids. We give nicknames to friends and ourselves and dogs and cats and whatever. But if you can give it a nickname and make it seem more approachable, because people with a non-formal name seem more approachable, right? So that might help too, something like that.
And a quick comment about the colostomy thing. She called me like a few hours after, and she couldn't hear it over the phone. But I was laughing so hard when she said that she woke up during it, because she's never ever been able to sleep through the night. Not even under anesthesia can she stay under. And I couldn't believe it.
Well, believe it.
I don't want to laugh.
Karen
It's just-
woke up in the middle of her hysterectomy more than once, and they had to keep putting her under, and so the recovery took forever.
Oh man.
And that was before we had Nick.
Oh my goodness.
And her mother was with me.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. So the surgeon came out and he said, she's gonna be a long time in recovery because they had to put her back down at least 3 times. He said, you can go out for lunch. Which was her mom's cue about food. So, where are we going? And I, okay. Yeah, she's another one that does that.
Yeah,
don't
I've done
sleep
it.
through the night either.
No.
Right.
Me
I'm
too.
up
I just
three-
give in. I just am.
3 times during the night, 3 to 4 times. I'm up.
Yeah, if you look on my phone, my watch does the sleep thing,
Yeah.
and it tells you light, deep, and awake. So it's light purple, dark purple, and white. I have big white gaps. There's mostly light purple. The one night I looked at it, I had 6 minutes of deep sleep.
Well,
Yeah, I wonder how they've done that. Like I've got a different, I got a watch that does that too, and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It doesn't seem to make sense sometimes.
Some days I wake up going, yeah, that's pretty darn accurate. But yeah, my mom says I've never slept through the night from the time I was a baby. So I didn't realize you were laughing though. I didn't hear that
that's pretty
part.
funny.
She muted that, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, all right. What?
Paperclip.
Oh. Thinking, what did I drop? Okay.
I can sleep
All
through
right.
the night, but I only sleep for like 6 hours anyways, so
This is true, yeah.
Whose fault is that? Anyways.
mine.
That's because he goes to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
All right, so this time, if you have your Bibles or if you want to grab one out of the pew, we have a couple of things to look up.
The later you go to bed, the comfier the bed is.
Oh, all right. The first one we're going to look up is in the book of Matthew, chapter 23.
Yeah.
Matthew chapter 23, verse 37b. So the second part of verse 37. All right, go ahead, Han.
Second half of it? Right.
Yeah.
I like the first part though.
Okay, we'll do the whole thing.
You snakes, you brood of vipers, how will you escape being condemned to hell? Is that the right one?
Verse 37.
Chapter 23,
Yep,
37.
Oh, I wrote, I said 23, 33, 37?
yeah, 37, yeah.
How often, hold on,
There you
how
go.
often I've longed to gather your children together, as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, and you were not willing.
All right, so did you all hear that one?
Verse 37.
Yep. So how often I have longed to gather your children together, as a hen gathers her chicks under her
That's
wings.
sweeter than the other one I read.
Yeah, the other one was a little more intense. I'm like, hold on, where are we going with this? 'Cause that's not the name of my thing today. All right, the next one. Yeah, this is a fire and brimstone lesson. Psalm 91, verse 4.
I got it.
All right. What do you have?
Cat said, of course you do. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart.
All right. Now Psalm 116. verse 2.
I got it.
Go for it. I was intentionally going kind of slow.
She was going to Psalm 116 by way of New Testament. Yeah.
There's the shortest one.
Who's going?
Oh, I thought you
No.
said it.
Because he inclined his ear to me, therefore I will call on him as long as I live. Continue on, or,
No, just verse 2.
okay.
Because the next verse is the court of death, we don't want to go there.
You're not doing the burn stuff.
So, with these 3 verses, have you ever pictured God as a female? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or as a mama bird?
No.
How about bending down to listen to you like a parent does to a child?
Those are all in the devotional of the shack.
Do you picture God like Mack does? Let's see how Mack pictures God. I like those visuals. To picture the creator of everything bending down so he can make sure he hears what I say. All right. So, this is before Mack goes up to the shack. He's still at home and he's talking to his friend Willie. Remember, he borrows his Jeep to make this trip. And Willie asks him, so what do you think he looks like? Mack goes, who? It's God, of course. What do you think he'll look like if he even bothers to show up, I mean? Boy, I can just see you scaring the living daylights out of some poor hiker, asking him if he's God and then demanding answers and all. Mack grinned at the thought. I don't know, maybe he's a really bright light or a burning bush? I've always sort of pictured him as a really big grandpa with a long, white flowing beard, sort of like Gandalf in Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. And that's what a lot of people picture him as, right? He's this wizardy looking guy sitting up there on his big throne. When you need to talk, who do you need to talk with? So tonight, before you close your eyes, or maybe sometime this week, I want you to ask, do you need to talk to Eloisa, the creator of everything, for whom nothing is impossible? That's what Eloisa means. Maybe you need to speak with Emmanuel, God with us, who took on human form with all of its messes. He was fully human. And he also walked the dirt roads, right? Dusty, dirty, experienced weather, had to experience everything that we do as humans. You might want to speak to Sarayu. I've been talking to Sarayu quite a bit lately. That's actually been one of the things I've been trying to make more of a point of. Sarayu is the spirit within, the gentle voice that guides and moves inside, not a condemning voice. There is no sarcasm in there. There is no shame in Sarayu speaking. When you have those voices, those arrows shooting at you, that's not the spirit within. Another one you might want to talk to is the mother hen, who gathers you under her protective wings, right? Where you can hide in the shadow. Or Jesus. You may need to speak with the one who weeps with those who hurt and who celebrates with laughter. I love those verses in the Bible, and I forgot to mark one down. I don't know why. Where Jesus laughs. The other one you may want to talk to is Sophia, the part of the Spirit that shows us judgment and wisdom. Sophia was the one that Mack met in the cave, and when he was told that he was going to be judged. Whom do you seek? Gandalf? Do you seek the white wizard? Do you seek Papa, the one that you can call by a nickname, the creator of everything, lets you call him by a nickname, someone that's very personal? Maybe Jesse, that's another name for Jesus. Some people called him Jesse while he walked the earth. I invite you to come as you are to the throne of God, to the foot of the cross. You can look up or close your eyes, but be sure to open your heart when you do this. You can put your hands together or lift them high. Then open yourself up, both physically and emotionally, to our great comforter. I've been trying to make a point of doing this lately. It's a little uncomfortable, I must say. But for this Lenten season, I've been standing in front of my big picture window in the mornings, especially as the sun is rising. And as I pray to the creator of light, I've been trying to hold my hands open and making a point of seeing myself with my hands open. Now I'm standing in front of the window, and every once in a while a little arrow comes flying in and goes, what if your neighbors see you doing this? I'm like, well, then I'll pray for them as they go by. Thinking, stop yelling at me. But in doing that, there's something pretty powerful, at least for me, to feel that open. Because a lot of times I'm most comfortable standing with my arms in front of me, which I can't do at karate because it shows judgment. So I stand with my arms crossed behind me. I tuck them in my belt so that I can not just come back to doing that. And, or I'll stick them in my pockets. But even doing that a lot of times, I'm grabbing whatever's in my pocket. Like I keep my cross in there, I keep a tissue in there, I keep my phone in there. So there's something uncomfortable yet good about me having to stand there with my hands open. And I find every once in a while, I just saw myself do it again, it reminded me. I close my pinky a little, it's like, oh, this is really uncomfortable. But I'm trying, it's a work in progress. So, you can sit, stand, kneel, or lay down, but make sure that you're in the moment when you do this. Every time your mind wanders, I want you to pull it back and be present with God. When we learn to do this with our Savior, we will be better equipped to do this with those that we love. I already have it in my hand. Page 220. Oh. There we go. All right. This is from chapter 16, A Morning of Sorrows. It seemed he had only just entered a deep sleep of dreamless rest when Mack felt a hand shaking him awake. Mack, wake up. It's time for us to go. The voice was familiar, but deeper, as if he had just woken up from sleep himself. Huh? He groaned. What time is it? He mumbled as he tried to figure out where he was and what he was doing. It's time to go, returned the whisper. Although he didn't think that answered what he had been asking, he climbed out of bed grumbling and fumbling until he found the lamp switch and snapped it on. It was blinding after the pitch dark, and it took another moment before he could pry one eye open and squint up at his early morning visitor. The man standing next to him looked a bit like Papa, dignified, older, wiry, and taller than Mack. He had silver white hair pulled back into a ponytail, matched by a gray splashed mustache and goatee. Plaid shirt with sleeves rolled up, jeans, and hiking boots completed the outfit of someone ready to hit the trail. Papa? Mack asked. Yes, son? Mack shook his head. You're still messing with me, aren't you? Always, he said with a warm smile, and then answered Mack's next question before it was asked. This morning, you're going to need a father. So, another way you can picture God is as an older man, tall, wiry, dressed in jeans and a plaid shirt with his sleeves rolled up, ready to listen and ready to walk the trail, the path that you're on today.
Oh, my hair food.
Yes, thank you, sure.
So, this is still from chapter 16. Papa's letting him know forgiveness does not establish relationship. In Jesus, I have forgiven all humans for their sins against me, but only some choose relationship. So, forgiveness does not require me to pretend what he did never happened. That is where some people struggle with forgiveness. I don't want to forgive someone because if I forgive, it's supposed to be forgive and forget, right? That was a saying we were told. God's saying, no, you don't have to forget. And just because you forgive someone does not mean that you have to invite them back into your life. What you're doing is by forgiving, you are saying, I give it to you. I unload this from my bag. I leave it at the foot of the cross for you to deal with. It is no longer for me. And in that, you open your relationship with God. It does not mean you have to open your relationship with that person again. You have God's forgiveness, full and complete. Is your relationship with God the same? Is it full and complete? So your homework for this next 2 weeks, because we meet again in April, I want you to be in the moment. I want you to start small, maybe for a minute, and in that minute, keep your focus on God. Be in that moment, whether you're praying or just sitting with your hands open. Maybe you're still laying in bed. Keep your hands open, your heart open, your eyes can be closed if they need to. Then I want you to work up. Try 2 minutes. And then after that, after you feel pretty comfortable, to try more. Just remember, the whole point is to be in the moment. Our next class will be April 3rd, where we'll have our next lesson. And we'll close with this. But what about all the miracles, the healings, raising people from the dead? Doesn't that prove Jesus was God, more than human? No, it proves that Jesus was truly human. I know I have been less than human. I hurt and maim with words and expectations and judgments. Please heal me so I can be truly human and fully alive. Amen.